to a very bleak Thursday night of All About America's team. I am joined with my co-host,
Owen DeChico.
and I'm Ray Nickens, and we are here to what we thought talk about the Dallas Cowboys matchup against the Cardinals. Of course, we will be talking about that, but also we have some unfortunate news to talk about as well today, and it's a very big thing that will definitely have an impact on this season. But I'll let Owen break down that section of news and set the stage, and then we'll talk about it. So, Owen, take it away.
All right, so I want everybody to close their eyes and imagine that they are in a master's class in marketing analytics. You're sitting down, you're on Twitter before class starts, and you see someone quote tweet a tweet saying, and Trayvon Diggs was seen walking out off the field with crutches. That is what I was watched, or that's what I saw, and I was like, what the heck? What the heck happened? So what happened was that Mike McCarthy and the coaching staff ran some one-on-ones, and Diggs took a step, and it looked fine, but he tore his ACL. So he'll be out for the rest of the year. And this created a lot of Twitter discourse about why they were running one-on-ones. Mr. Ben DiNucci, upside down Dallas hat himself, quote tweeted and said, "Never understood why we did one-on-ones during the season." So some people had some issues with what happened, but it was a freak accident. Also, apparent, I don't know why, but I feel like this season over any season, and like that I've been like deeply following the Cowboys. There's been an injury at least every practice. Tyler Biotish has a hamstring injury. Apparently, it's not that deep, but he should play. Tyler Smith's hamstring injury was not serious, and they kept him out. And this hamstring injury is supposed to be even less significant than that. But for all of you wondering what's going to happen in the cornerback room, it's already been confirmed that Deron Bland will move outside opposite of Gilmore, and Jordan Lewis will move to the inside. So I know a lot of people had some issues with Dallas deciding to put Jordan Lewis on the active roster instead of putting him on the physically unable to perform list, but this is why. This wasn't the exact reason why, but this is why you bring them on, and you'll have guys like Izzy play in some type of role, Eric Scott play in some type of role, Noah. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. Iggy, the guy they traded for with Kelvin Joseph from Miami, the special teams phenom, he'll be playing more. And yeah, it's gonna be a bad loss, but last year, Deron Bland led the team in interceptions, and I think that Deron Bland can kind of turn into a version of Diggs attacking the ball. But this is also going to have Gilmore, who I know that people had some issues with his. Well, Ray and I both did, and other people on the Bird app had some issues with the way that Gilmore played last week, and that's just not going to be able to happen anymore. But it probably won't, because much like last year when Anthony Brown went down, it was, I'm going to pick on anybody not named Diggs, and hopefully our corners play well enough that it's not a repeat of 2023, but it should not be because of the safety room. Tyler Smith practiced, Zach Martin practiced, Donovan Wilson practiced, Brandon Cooks practiced. So I know that when Ray and I recorded Tuesday night, yeah, I mentioned how we were going to get the injury report, and I need to keep my mouth shut. But everybody should play, not named Diggs. It's outside of just play. It's for him as a person. He's got a big payday, and he had a passer rating of 1, and a passer rating for a quarterback spiking the ball for a full game is 33. So that just shows how dominant he was to start the year, and it would have been a pretty amazing season if he could have kept this up. But he'll be back. It was a clean tear, so he'll be back next year. And yeah, Dallas has had 4 players tear their ACLs. They were all their left ACLs. So hopefully next year, the team with also Overshone got surgery yesterday, and it looks like he tore both his ACLs, which is not good. He had surgery on both of his knees. He definitely tore one, but there might have been some cleanup on the other one. But he posted a video saying that next year is going to be a movie, direct quote. And he had the typical knee brace on both legs. So hopefully all these players can come back. Hopefully they can just come back and have a positive impact on the team. But when Ray and I were thinking about what to talk about for this show, this was 3 hours before Diggs was injured. So yeah, I don't really know how much of an impact this is going to have. It kind of depends on how every cornerback not named Gilmore plays. It's also going to rely a lot more on their safeties. Bell is going to have a much bigger role than he did before, which in turn is going to make it's just going to be a lot more safety heavy. And Bland is going to have to play well. Jordan Lewis is going to have to play well. And honestly, as long as Dallas can continue to put this pressure on the quarterback, everything else will figure its way out. But before I pass this over to Ray, one little tidbit fact I know that's going to get some eye rolls from Mr. Ray is that this is nothing new to Mike McCarthy. Every year that since he's coached Dallas, there's been big injuries. And also the year that he won the Super Bowl, they had 18 players on IR. I may be missing a few, or maybe over. It was something that I saw on the Bird app. He had 18 players on IR. This is nothing new to him. And if, like Emmanuel Acho said, Dallas is probably the only team equipped to have this type of injury, and probably Miami would be the other one. But Ray, before we get into the Arizona snooze fest Cardinals game, what are your thoughts on the Diggs injury? I know that you have his jersey. I know that he is one of your favorite Dallas players, not named Tony Romo. But what do you think? What type of impact do you think this will have on the team? And who do you think will need what player are you looking to have that will need to have an impact that will either make or break the year? And if you have more than one player, that's more than okay. But I want to hear your insight on how big or not big you think that this and how this man not playing has on the team. So the floor is yours.
Well, first and foremost, this is a big culture loss for the team, as you know, Trayvon Diggs is a very vocal voice in the locker room. I mean, we saw it for better or worse in training camp when he was running his mouth at Dak and talking trash, and there was some back and forth that sent Twitter and the national airwaves on fire, for better or for worse. I thought it was funny how everyone was running their mouth, and Owen thought it was annoying, but we both have different opinions on that. But like the main thing is that I was thinking about, and that after I kind of took a couple breaths and calmed down and stopped getting super frustrated about the fact that every single one of Dallas's injuries have been mysterious, and I don't remember any of them happening in live action, starting with Brandon Cooks, who I thought didn't even play long enough to even get hurt. That's how much of a snooze fest week 1 was. And then Owen sent me a message about Zach Martin getting nicked, and I was like, I don't recall him getting nicked in the Jets game, and I was even at the stadium. So, and for this to happen in practice, the thought I had was, oh, turf monster, definitely turf. But then I learned that they have grass field, so I can't even blame the turf, even though I still will blame the turf because turf is usually the issue for every injury in football that occurs. But to answer your question, how much of an impact will this have? I don't really see it having a devastating impact as the casual Dallas Cowboy fan might think, because when you look at how the Dallas Cowboys defense is built, their back end heavily relies on their front seven. And their front seven has been able to generate unbelievable amounts of pressure in an unbelievable short time from the time the ball is snapped to the time the quarterback is going through his progression. There's someone in his face in 2 to 3 to 3.5 seconds. And that's going to be, I mean, with two all-pro corners, it's pretty much impossible for any quarterback to do anything. And with one all-pro corner, even though he's past his prime, it's still very challenging for teams to, move the ball. I mean, it's going to be a little bit easier because obviously now, a lot of people talked about it. You have your one guy on one side that you're like, okay, maybe let's not throw that way. But then you look on the other side and you're like, okay, we have a second-year corner. Let's attack that side. So at least when quarterbacks are going up against Dallas now, they're going to have a set plan on, okay, we're going to go this way and not, let's avoid both corners. And then all of a sudden you have a bunch of different problems where you're thinking about Micah Parsons coming at you. You're thinking about getting the ball out quickly, but you don't really know where you're going to go with the football pre-snap. So that part of it is over. The Cowboys don't have that strength anymore where the quarterback's going to the line not knowing where his first read is. Or I'm not saying that the quarterback doesn't have a first read to begin with, but when quarterbacks come to the line in the Cowboys, they're like, okay, my first read is here, but I have Diggs there, and my second read is on the other side, but Gilmore's there. So that's not going to happen anymore. I do think that Deron Bland is highly capable of playing outside. I mean, he had a great first year. He's looked solid at the start of this year. I do think that the Cowboys have the depth at safety to be able to play to give him safety help. So we'll see a little bit more, I guess, strategies with the safeties. The safeties won't be able to do whatever they want now. They're going to have to play a little bit of help coverage for one side. Maybe even give help coverage to Gilmore because, like you mentioned, Gilmore has not looked great, and he's also an older player. So we can't really rely on him one-on-one as much as we could 4 or 5 years ago when he was Defensive Player of the Year. But overall, I don't think this will have a huge impact on the Cowboys. Now, knock on wood, if a pass rusher gets nicked or Micah Parsons, has a
toothache, a toothache. If he has a toothache, something small, out for a game.
If he has a toothache, he's not missing any time. But I get what you're saying.
Don't speak it into existence.
Nothing I say is going to be to come true. That is your job. Your job is to say the things that come true. My job is to
I say the opposite, and those things come true.
Right. But yeah, I'll phrase it this way. If the front seven's depth is compromised, then it becomes a little bit more of an issue because the pressure won't be as consistent as usual. And the better quarterbacks, which Dallas plays a lot better caliber quarterback later on in the year, are going to be able to take advantage of the secondary a little bit more. But as of right now, the Cowboys should be fine. They're still going to win at least 2 out of their next 3 games, maybe all 3. We'll see what happens. And I don't really see this injury really having an impact on the team until January, because that's when they're going to be in the postseason, and that's when they're going to be playing those actual teams that deserve to be there. But as of right now, it's just a culture blow. I did think it was pretty funny how on that same show that you referenced the 18 penalties, I forget exactly who said it, but someone was like, "Yeah, they lost their main voice. We'll see where their main voice is going to come from the defense." And I immediately was like, Curse is their vocal guy on the defense, and he's the guy who." So I was like, "Yeah, y'all don't do your homework very well." But
A few of them, yeah.
but
Uh,
but yeah, it's tough. I wish him the best. I as much as I give him BS for his as much as I mess around and give him BS for being a corner that takes chances and makes fun of how he gets burnt in practice, he's still a great player. He deserved his paycheck. As much as I'm kind of frustrated that he's still making $19.4 million this year and not playing, it's not his fault for getting hurt on a freak accident. And shockingly, I know you're shocked. I'm not going to blame Mike McCarthy for this injury. I mean, he has his way of coaching, and they've done it his way, and it's been fine, and it's kept the defense aggressive and battle tested and ready. And they are not and the defense is not the issue on this team. It's the other side of the ball that we still have questions about. The defense, they're good. We don't have questions about the defense. It's the offense where we're having questions about still. So I'm not gonna give him crap for running one-on-ones in practice and keeping the competition physicality up. Would I like them not to do it anymore? Probably, but I'm not going to blame it on him or his coaching style or Dan Quinn or how they set up their practices.
yeah. Did you get the 19.5 because of his contract?
I just took his total contract and divided it by 5.
He's not
And
getting that right now.
obviously, and I didn't go that deep into it, but
I was just
it
curious.
averages out as he's making $19.4 million.
His cap hit for this year is 5 million. Next year is 16. 25 is 14. 26 is 19. 27 is 24. And then 28 is 21. And the contract ends when he's 30. So by then there'll be a lot of contract extensions.
So okay, so if we eliminate the fact, like, he's gonna get all of his money.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna get all of his money. So in a perfect world where Dallas isn't doing all this creative bargaining and flipping everything, he's making $19.4 million each year on average.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. But sure, he's making $5 million this year, and then his last year he'll be making a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, he
or
won't
they'll
make that, but I know
restructure
what
it,
you mean.
or they'll restructure it, and he may even end up like Dak and have like $84 million on the table the next year. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's I don't know. These like lower leg, these leg injuries. I don't, Ray, you'll be able to tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't really know how to base the recovery because their movements are different than wide receivers' movements, but they still have to. They're kind of different. They're kind of the same. And Gallup was useless last year. And we're kind of seeing how his play style doesn't really fit in this offense. And hopefully, if there's a week for Gallup to go off, it's this week because it's the Cardinals. But he hasn't been that big of a part of the offense. But hopefully, guys like Overshone and Diggs and the tight end that lost to an ACL, all the guys that have torn an ACL, hopefully they can make a positive impact on the team. And the good thing about this team is that all their great guys outside of Curse and Biotish are under contract. So this isn't like it's a make or break year. You'd like it to be this year if they were to do anything, but yeah, I felt I had a very deep. I felt really bad all day just when players like this go down, especially when it's something like that, and especially how big of an impact Trayvon, not even on the field, just off the field, how big of a personality he is. The fact that this year we were going to be able to see him go up against his brother against the Bills, and that's not going to happen, unfortunately. So we're going to have to wait until hopefully the Super Bowl next year for that to happen. And yeah, his son, due to Hard Knocks and everything, has been a super big part of the team and just social media wise, and you know, hopefully Aiden's doing all right. But just our thoughts and prayers are with Trayvon. Hopefully, speedy recovery, and he can have surgery, and it'll be successful, and everything be good. He can be walking around on the sideline, and I'm sure he'll be going at it with Dak still. But yeah, it's funny you bring that up because him and Stefan go at it as well. It's just in their nature, which just their dynamic, which is really cool. But now to more to things in a more positive light. Dallas travels to Arizona in week 3 to face the Joshua Dobbs led Cardinals. And Ray, we kind of touched upon this on Tuesday. And I based off of that, I kind of think I know what your answer is going to be. But what can Dallas do to improve this week, even though they are favored by 12.5 points or 12.5 point spread?
To answer your question and also answer it in a different way, I think that the Cowboys should be favored by 17 points. And what they need to do to improve just their red zone efficiency. I talked about it 2 days ago. They had gosh, I'm blanking again. They kicked 5 field goals. They kicked 5 field goals last week, and 4 of them were in the red zone. So, and I mean they've had 7 field goals this year, and a lot of them
only 2 passing touchdowns, and I think 2 or 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm sure if I were to look for 3 seconds, I would, but I know you said that they're 53% inside the red
50.
zone, which is hovering around 22, 21 in the league, which is not good for a team that has championship aspirations. So this is the week to improve. I'm not saying they need to flip it on its head in 1 week and be number 1 in red zone efficiency. That's obviously not possible. But it would be nice, early on, get a couple of drives in early on, get in the red zone, get in the end zone. And then from there, that's when you can kind of feel it out and do your thing. But I do think that red zone efficiency needs to improve. And I mean, the offense looks good. They're surgical. They go down the field, and then all of a sudden they get in the red zone. And I think they get a little bit. I mean, I know that most of they've had 2 games where they've outscored their opponent 70-10, so it makes sense. But even in that situation where you're trying not to make any mistakes and turn the ball over, I do feel like the Cowboys get really, really conservative when they get in the red zone. And I don't know if that's we just really don't want to make a mistake, or if it's just they are just kind of not a great red zone team yet. But I do think that you got to be at least a little bit more aggressive with your play calling, because you have Tony Pollard out of the backfield. You have CeeDee Lamb. You brought Brandon Cooks in to be that other option if Gallup's not going to work out for you. And I mean, they have 3 capable tight ends. As much as they sometimes don't act like they're capable, they are capable. So you have plenty of weapons to be able to, once you get into inside the opponent's 20, to capitalize and cash in and get in the end zone.
Yep.
And I feel like their play calling just gets really, really just archaic as soon as they cross that 20-yard line. Because, I mean, even inside the 5, they get inside the 5 against the Jets, and then 3 plays later, they're kicking the field goal, and you're like, what the heck just happened? You're like at the 4-yard line. You should be able to get in the end zone from there. So and that's what I think they need to improve. I think they're going to do it. The Cardinals are not going to put up much of a fight, and the Cowboys should be able to make an improvement there, and then take it from there and see if they can keep improving as the season goes on.
Yeah. No, definitely. I do think that red zone 100%. I'm not going to really go into much detail about that because I think you hit everything on the head. You hit the nail on the head. But just for context wise, you have I think Jake Ferguson might have dropped a touchdown week 1, or that might have been Hendershot.
I think they might have both dropped the touchdown week 1.
Okay. Oh, they both did, yeah. And then you had the play where Dak handed it off to Hendershot, and he just made the wrong read, and each touchdown just didn't take it. So yeah, definitely could be better, but there's definitely been some things non-Dak wise and non-play calling wise that leave a lot to be desired.
Oh,
Which is
brother.
why I kind of think that Hendershot is kind of on the outside looking in. I believe he is probably the third tight end on the depth chart, but that's another story for another time. But yeah, I definitely think that, and just Dak doing what he's been doing, just being just offense being efficient is what I'd like to see, and also how this defense, what Dan Quinn does with their cornerback 1.5 going down. If there was, as bad as this sounds, but if there was a week for this to happen, it would be this week, because you have this game, then the Patriots, and the Patriots are not very strong at wide receiver. Before you end up facing the juggernaut that is the San Francisco 49ers. And currently they are beating the Giants 17-12. So, yeah. But that is what I have to say on the matter. And Ray, this Cardinals team is very different than the Cardinals team that Dallas has faced in the past, or just other team that faced in the past. Who on this team are you worried about? And I hope there's someone.
Absolutely nobody. I
Oh, that's amazing.
Not a single person on the Arizona Cardinals worries me. Because at the end of the day, the person who is leading the Arizona Cardinals is Mr. Joshua Dobbs. And the only reason why he is playing quarterback instead of Colt McCoy is the Arizona Cardinals have decided that they don't want Kyler Murray leading their team anymore. And they are in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes and trying to lose as many games as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So the only person that the Cowboys have to watch out for is Marquise Brown. But
Yeah.
he does not fear me at all because I don't think that Josh Dobbs can get him the ball. And I mean, even though the Commanders had issues in the first half with their offense, I think that was a fluke. The Commanders have a really solid defense that are ranked in the top 5 in every like important category that you could be in. Honestly, it was surprising to me. They're ranked higher than Dallas in QB pressures, which is ridiculous considering that Dallas seems to be pressuring the quarterback every single play. So I don't know how Washington has more or is ranked higher in pressures. So their defense is a lot better than people give it credit for, and
Yeah.
they had a bad night. I don't think the Cowboys are going to have a bad night. They have a much better secondary than Washington, so they're going to be able to give Dobbs problems. And I don't think it's going to be a similar game to when Cowboys faced Dobbs last time, and he had his decent game, and it was all right. I think it's going to be a pretty bad day for him. I think Dallas will go up early. I think they'll win by, as I said, cover the 17-point spread that I created 6 minutes ago, and it'll be fine. But I don't fear anyone on the team. But I do think that they need to be respectful of Marquise Brown just because of his talent.
For sure. Just for some stats, they've sacked the quarterback 3 times. They've given up 9 sacks. I just looking at this team, their wide receiving core is okay. James Conner is a good running back, but Dallas has done really well against the run the last 2 weeks. Will Hernandez was a guard that I wanted Dallas to draft when he was there, but his career never really panned out in the way that they wanted to. I am curious to see what Paris Johnson does. The tackle they drafted. Was he at Ohio State or no?
Who? They're the
Paris
Cardinals.
Johnson. Because if he is, I'll give.
think
Yeah, he
so.
was Ohio State. Look at me, knowing things that I should not. I want to see what he does.
I definitely would not have known that either.
Xavier Collins
Ohio
is
State.
Yeah. Xavier Collins is probably the big name on this defense, and he only has 2.5 career sacks.
And I think Buda Baker is not playing, right?
No, he's not. Buda
Yeah.
Baker
See,
will, will
see
probably
if
be an
Buda
Eagle.
Baker was playing, I would have said they should fear Buda Baker, but he's not.
Yeah.
So
Buda Baker
that
will probably be an Eagle in the next 3 weeks. You know
well,
who I fear? I fear Matt Prater. That man can kick a football like nobody's business.
well, good thing a field goal won't hurt Dallas.
Just finding the humor in things is all I
The
can
field
do.
goals are not worth 10 points per kick. They're only worth
Well,
3.
if Matt Prater if Matt Prater can kick a 65-yard, then they should be worth it. They should be worth whatever Matt Prater desires them to be worth. But yeah, that's kind of this team's layout. They do have Carlos Watkins, who played for Dallas last year, but he's not going to be playing. It would have been cool to see how he played because he was I enjoyed watching him play last year for Dallas, and I was kind of upset that he left, but that's it's okay. Their backup weak side linebacker shares the same first name as me, so I hope you have a great game. It'd be good for all the Owens out there in the world. But yeah, that's kind of they also have Chris Barnes, who's a a, a Madden user that I use. So yeah, just the Cardinals have quite the squad. They have quite the
Yeah,
squad.
you're just making things up now. You're just trying to make it seem more
No,
even than it is. It's
I've
not.
I've used
Don't
Chris
listen
Barnes.
to
Oh
him.
no, it's the game's not going to be good. But I've Chris Barnes is fast in Madden. But yeah, I'm just outside of this game. I am curious to see what the Cardinals do because I know that you mentioned that they're just like going for Caleb, but it's gonna be really difficult to get out of that contract of his, and I'm curious
That's
to see what
okay.
they
They'll
do.
trade him.
Yeah, but who
Some
who, who would trade for him?
some dumb team will trade for Kyler Murray. I'm not sure which one it will be, but there will be a team. Maybe the Chicago Bears will trade for Kyler Murray because they do have a quarterback right now who has the same skill set as Kyler Murray. The problem is he is a lot worse than Kyler Murray, even though Kyler Murray plays too much Call of Duty and doesn't study film. But he can
Maybe
still play better than Justin Fields.
maybe the 49ers will trade for him.
I don't think so.
That was a joke. But yeah, I'm curious to see what happens because they also have Goff Swaim, Cowboys legend. So it'll be Dallas playing up against the Arizona Cowboys.
Okay.
But
We're in
before
trouble.
to what Ray alluded to about when Dallas played the Titans in December of last year, Dobbs, his stat line, 20 for 39, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked twice, 35.7 QBR, 67.5 QB rating, and he ran the ball 3 times for 12 yards. That's I thought he played a lot better than that. I think the game was awful due to a bad Hendershot drop and just an abysmal throw by Dak. Sorry, Dak. But I think they ended up. Did they bench Dobbs? They might have benched Dobbs at the
I
end of the
don't think
game.
so. I'm pretty sure he
Okay.
finished that game.
Okay. I don't know why I thought that then. But I think that it's gonna. Dobbs has run the ball a good amount. I don't have the rushing stats in front of me, but I'm curious to see how he plays and how Dallas does up against the quarterback running, because sometimes that can be something that hurts them. Yeah, he has. Yeah, last week he ran the ball 3 times for 41 yards and for a touchdown. So that bothers me a little bit because Dallas hasn't really had success against rushing quarterbacks. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Right? Any thoughts on facing Dobbs last year?
Not really. I mean, what's last year was last year, and Dallas was able to get out of there with a win. So don't have very much. And also that was a completely different team than he has. This Arizona Cardinals team is depleted. They don't have much talent on there, and they're not really interested in doing much in January. So They're
Exactly.
just they're feeling it out. They got a new coach. He's feeling out what he's got and what he doesn't have, and it's going to be what it is for Mr. Josh Dobbs. And I kind of feel bad for him, honestly, but not really. So
Yeah,
we'll see what
I do
happens.
too. Now I'm gonna throw some 2 rapid fire questions out at you, and then we're gonna get into some score predictions. Sound good?
Yeah, but I need you to read this. I need you to read this question as you wrote it, because you did make a grammatical error. I just need you to read it exactly how you wrote it, so
Okay.
everyone listening can try and figure out where the problem is in the sentence.
Will Dak threw his first interception?
Well,
And I
to answer
spelled
your
through as
question, to
THROUGH, not THREW. Yeah,
to answer
I'm a
your
master's
question,
student.
but even that would not make any sense. Because if I were to answer your question, then Owen, he already did threw his first interception to Sauce Gardner, but it still would not be spelled correctly. So I can't even say that.
Amen.
So the answer to your question is no, he won't. I'm gonna push his first interception to the following week against the New England Patriots. That's when I will, say yes, he will throw his first interception,
To
but not
Christian
against the
Gonzalez.
Cardinals. No, there will be no interceptions for Dak Prescott in Arizona this weekend.
Good for Dak. And I think I don't have any grammatical errors with this one. Do you think that this will be the first game of 2023 that Dak throws for over 300 yards?
I do not, but not because I don't think it's capable. I just think that the game will be over very quickly, much like the game against the Giants was. So I
Yeah.
think that, I mean, if everything goes how I want it to go, Dallas will get the ball 3 or 4 times. They'll score a touchdown in all 3 or 4 of those drives, and then from there they'll just kind of sleepwalk the rest of the way. Maybe get a touchdown or two coming in, and then just kind of rest easy from there. So I think Dak will have a hot start. He will eclipse the 200-yard mark throwing the ball, but it won't be 300.
Okay. And answer my own questions. No, I do not think that Dak throws his first interception. Yes, I do think that he can throw for over 300 just because the offense has not been challenged much the last 2 weeks, and I don't think that you want to, or the offense has not really shown much or played at a high level. I think that the last thing you want is to run a conservative or go into a game only running a conservative offense against Bill Belichick, who was one of the best just head coaches, one of the best head coaches ever, and just a great mind. So I think that they're going to want to try some stuff and just see, especially if Cooks plays and Tolbert and Lamb, and just see what they can do. But I might be talking nonsense right now, but the whole team on a good amount, all the DBs on Twitter kind of were like, we're gonna win this one for you, Trey. So I think this week there's gonna be. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. If they catch them, if they get some interceptions or fumbles, I wonder if they're gonna pay. I wonder if they're gonna just have anything special for Trey. But I do think that the Dak will have a good game. I think that both here's my crazy projection or prediction. I think that both Cooks and Lamb will go over 100 yards, and Tolbert will go over 50, and then Gallup sprinkle in 50, and there's 300.
That's going to be
300
all
and
right.
3 touchdowns.
Well, I do think that's a little bit much, but you are wearing a nice shirt, so I'm not going to clown you too much. At least you
Yeah.
look good while spewing
I look
ridiculous.
good for Dell.
Hey, that's a good point. You
I
do
didn't
look good
realize
for Dell.
that their company was founded by a UT grad.
Yeah, but guess what? He did not graduate, so it doesn't count. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did not graduate. He did not finish school. He is a UT dropout. That shows
Hey,
you how
man.
great the education of UT actually is. He made his company without your school, for better or for worse.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ray. Now, I think that this game Maybe a
Yeah,
snooze fest
laugh.
after
I
a
got
while.
you there. I got you.
It was yeah, you got me. That was funny. That was funny. It might be a snooze fest. But what's your score prediction? And and I know that I don't really do this all that often, but do you have like I just did? Do you have any do you have any predictions for players or anything like that of who you think will have a good game or lay a goose egg?
Well, I think that this game is Dallas's best opportunity to drop a 50 bomb.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna throw that out there. I think Dallas will reach 50 points this week. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say that they win 51-13, and that they're gonna get 3 defensive touchdowns. So
Oh wow.
the monster game they put up in week 1, they're gonna get a pick 6, or actually 2 pick 6s and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So
And who's
that'll be
getting these pick sixes?
I'm gonna go with Malik Hooker gets 1,
Okay.
and then Jordan Lewis is gonna get the second one.
Let's go, J. Lou. Let's go.
And
Let's go. I'm speaking into existence.
and then the fumble recovery is going to be obviously Micah, because he's just
It
that
has
good,
to
and
be.
he's gonna force the fumble and recover the fumble and
And
score.
nobody's gonna touch him. Nobody's
And
gonna touch him.
nobody's going to touch him because he's way too fast. And I just saw Waller get decked out of bounds. I'm praying for you,
Oh,
Darryl Waller.
that's what you're looking at.
And yeah, so they're gonna get 21 points from the defense. And I'm gonna try and do wonderful math. It's not my best. They're gonna get
So that'll be 21. So they need 30 points.
21 plus 39, or 29 would be 50. And I'm gonna go with 30. Yeah, they're gonna score 30 points on offense and get 21 from the defense.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm gonna be a little more. Oh, Daniel Jones, you're so bad. I'm gonna go more conservative. I think they're gonna win 20 or 30-3. Yeah, 30-3. I think that just a 50 bomb would be great, and like last year against the Colts, Dallas shows they can score 30 points in a quarter. So whatever happens, happens. But who do you think will be the MVP of the game? If you need a second, I can give mine.
Well, the issue is I think that everyone is gonna. It's well, if I say they're gonna score 50 points, it's hard to give out an MVP, because that means everyone will be eating. So, but I'm gonna say the MVP of the game will be Tony Pollard. This is gonna be they kind of got through the first 2 weeks of playing some pretty solid run defenses, even though McCaffrey is carving up the Giants defense. Not really the Giants' fault, but because McCaffrey is that good, and 49ers have so many weapons. But I do think that the Arizona Cardinals defensive line is not good, and they're going to have a lot of trouble keeping Pollard from getting out in the open field. I think Pollard's going to have 2 rushing touchdowns and over 100 yards. So, and I think that'll be enough to get the MVP of this game.
I think Curse will get it. He is the leader of the defense. You can say Micah, but I think that he is the leader of the defense, at least the vocal leader. And I think they'll have a big game, and I think that, he'll have a big game. But to Ray's favorite segment of all about America's team history, his favorite might be the favorite thing he's ever made, even better than his artwork as a kindergarten student. This is just the favorite thing that Ray has ever created in all of Ray Nicken's history of existence. Ray, say it for me, because I can't do it. I won't do it justice.
It's Escape from Reality, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it is.
This is the segment that I created because, sometimes it gets tiring talking about the same old disaster known as the Dallas Cowboys. And even though I'm very grateful to be a fan and to have seen a lot of good and a lot of great players and a lot of good moments, there are a lot of bad moments. And today is just one of those examples of how quickly a day can be ruined by the Dallas Cowboys, in this case, an injury. So we are going to just kind of take a break. We're going to pretend that the Cowboys do not exist. And in this segment, starting now, we cannot talk about them whatsoever. So,
can I make one quick comment before we fully switch?
Yes.
Oh, speaking of your guy Bland, PFF every now and then shows Cowboys credit, and the lower passer rating according to CBS lowest passer rating allowed by cornerbacks. Diggs is first with 1 passer rating, and Bland is 3 with 16.7, and Lattimore is second with 9.4. So two Cowboys are in top 6, which is a good thing. But please
Well,
continue.
there should be no drop off whatsoever.
There should not be, no.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the last thing that you can say or I can say regarding them, yes. Or in this case,
I've broken that rule before, so I will not break it now.
So, I don't even know what's behind me or behind you, but we're not going to even discuss it. So my escape from reality this week is we're going to head into college football because, as everyone knows, there is a game at I think 2:30 p.m. Between the Oregon Ducks and the Colorado Buffaloes. Yeah. And Travis Hunter is not going to play. He got hit and it was bad and he's missing some time.
He lacerated his liver.
Vegas has put a 21-point spread on this game in favor of Oregon. Now, obviously, betting in Texas is illegal, and nobody in Texas is betting legally, if they are. But if it was legal, you best be right that I would be putting at least $30 on that game for Colorado to cover. Because 1, Colorado has the better quarterback. 2, they have the better coach. And 3, they have the entire national the national fan base, except for the Oregon Ducks fans, rooting for Colorado to win this game. And the one thing that they've been good at is, getting as much bulletin board material as they can find before these games. And Deion Sanders has done a great job of motivating and inspiring his team, even though they were 1-11 last year and really shouldn't be this good this quickly. So I do think that even without, it will be tough for them to win. I don't think I would pick them outright to win as much as I would love to do that. I'm not going to do it. But I do think that this is a pretty easy cover and it's going to be a tight game. And I think they'll be able to do it. So that is my escape from reality number 1. My escape from reality 2 is the fact that, I have a really I don't really like to do this because I don't really like to give the Baylor Bears a lot of screen time as of this season, except for if it's basketball. But the head coach of the Baylor football team, Mr. Dave Aranda, a week before they're supposed to host the number 3 ranked Texas Longhorns in Waco on a prime time, our coach is like, yeah, I don't think our starting quarterback is going to be ready for this game, so he's most likely not going to play. And I'm just thinking, look, I understand if the man is not ready and not ready to go, but the fact that you're ruling him out a week before the game even happens, when you have, first of all, this is the last game that Baylor is most likely going to play Texas in for a really long time because they won't be in the conference anymore. And 2, they're the number 3 ranked team in the country. The last time you had a top 5 ranked team in the country come into your building was in 2012 against Kansas State. And I don't know if Owen knows this, maybe not, but we kicked their you-know-what and sent them back to gosh, I
State of
don't even know.
Kansas.
Manhattan, not Manhattan.
It
Sent
might
him
be
back to
Manhattan.
Kansas. Yeah, well, whatever. We sent him back to Kansas crying because that's how badly we beat them. And it just seems to me like they're waving the white flag a week early because we all know that Sawyer Robertson is bad and not going to do anything. And really, Baylor's only shot was to get their starting quarterback back, and it's right around the timetable when he could be able to return. And I just think that it's a little bit of a soft move to roll your quarterback out, especially when with just putting the rankings aside. This is a must-win game for the team because if they lose this game, they're most likely not winning the Big 12 championship. Even though I don't believe that they will, you got to win this game to even have a shot. So it drives me crazy that our coach is just so like chill, and Owen knows this because at one point he made people think that he was a Baylor fan, even though he didn't attend any football games or anything really at all. But our coach is just really mellow, like, oh, we'll be fine. It's like, but you can't. You gotta show a little bit of aggression and take a little bit of chances. And I'm sure Blake Shapen wants to play. I'm sure he told, he's been telling Aranda for the last 3 or 4 days, like, hey, I'm fine. I want to play. And Aranda's been like, no, you're not ready to play. You still have the week left. And I don't know. It bothers me. So those are my two non-NFL points, and I'm interested to see what Owen is going to bring to the table in this wonderful segment before we kind of close off this episode.
Well, as I'll speak for myself and for Ray, as someone that has met Blake Shapen, great guy. Had a wonderful conversation with him in Austin, and I wished him a healthy and great season, and apparently I failed.
You just need to stop talking to my players altogether.
I ran into two Baylor athletes. I think they were basketball players. They had basketball apparel on, but they were two Baylor athletes at Newark Airport, and I was curious where they were going or coming from, but that's another topic. I am curious to see what happened with Aranda because, as Ray knows, Aranda, the only time that Dave Aranda team was good was when it was Matt Rule's team, and that was Dave Aranda's first year, and then
second year.
So second, yeah.
First year we were like 3 and I don't know, but it was COVID, so it didn't really count. But it's fine.
Okay,
keep going.
So the first non-COVID year, and then you had Grimes leave. So there were a lot. Just recruiting in general went down. He's a coach tech now. Yeah. So I think things went down.
Or McGuire. Joey McGuire.
Sorry, McGuire. Yeah.
Jeff Grimes is. Don't even get me started with Jeff Grimes.
He was the DC. My bad. McGuire. Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like he has gotten, or Aranda has gotten some good transfers. They got the transfer from LSU that was drafted by the Cleveland Browns. But yeah, I'm Baylor no matter where I'm going to grad school, Baylor athletics will always hold a very special place in my heart, and I will always root for Baylor over my current grad school. So sick 'em Bears for the weekend.
I don't think that's what you said the last time we spoke. I think you said you were pulling for UT, but at this point I don't really care. There's a dark cloud whether or not you're rooting for Baylor or not, because apparently you are now the reason why Blake Shapen is hurt.
Yeah, you can yell at me all you want.
But I mean, at this point, it's just like whether who you root for or not is really not going to matter because Sawyer Robertson is playing quarterback for Baylor. So there is no chance.
Right. But yeah, I'm curious to see what happened with Aranda, because if he gets fired, who exactly are they going to bring back? I saw some people saying they want Art Briles back, which was a bold with a capital BOLD.
Well, look, I'll tell you what. There might be a mob of people with pitchforks if they brought him back, but I'll tell you right now, they won't be a disaster, as much of a disaster in offense that they've been on for 3 years, because that offense will be going up and down the field like it did when he was here before. and it would be the football team would be good. However, the entire world would hate the
Yeah.
university. So
Oh, for sure. More than they already do.
I don't think that they're gonna do that
Yeah, but I
because
wonder who they would get. Like
but
who out there would be good.
in my opinion, they need to replace Jeff Grimes before they fire Dave Aranda because the issue is really the offense being really terrible.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad if both of them were kicked to
Fair.
the curb.
I'll go into my NFL point of the day. Bryce Young is not playing football this week. And that's not good. They're 0-2. They do not own their first round pick. And the team looks pretty pitiful. I don't know. Looking back at it, I don't think I would have made that trade if I were Carolina. One, because you keep your picks. Two, you keep a great wide receiver. And there was a sound bite of when the Bears played last week. One of the players telling him they're not using you correctly. And he said, "Yeah, tell me about it." Excuse me. So DJ Moore isn't happy. DJ Moore has never been happy ever since getting drafted out of Maryland. I wanted Dallas to draft him, but that's another story for another day. So I don't.
What did you just say, Owen?
I wanted a team. I wanted him to go to a different team. So
Okay,
I'm curious to see what happens because if they stink it up, that means that the Bears get their pick and the Bears stink. So now they're gonna get. It's insane that the Bears and the who owns Houston's pick? The Cardinals. That the
right.
Cardinals and the Bears are gonna have 2 top 5 picks. That's insane.
It's wonderful because one of those teams is going to screw it up, and it's not going to be the Cardinal.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was thinking about that because I've been seeing some. I haven't watched a Carolina game yet, but I was seeing some stuff that their wide receivers just can't separate, and it's kind of wild that you trade your best wide receiver and then you just automatically are awful. But also I don't know. I understand the desire to get your franchise quarterback, but if you don't own a pick for the next 2 years or 2 or 3 years, that's really have no use. So
well, to kind of play devil's advocate, and I mean not really play because I kind of believe that what they did was the right decision. They did not have a quarterback last year that was going to do anything. They had to get their guy. I think Bryce Young is going to be fine. He's very talented. But like you said, they have no talent at wide receiver. And that is not going to help your rookie quarterback who is, trying to learn and figure it out. And when he doesn't even have anywhere to go with the ball, that's not good. So
yeah,
I mean, Adam Thielen's okay, but he's also older and not as as fast, and he's not a wide receiver one. He was never a wide receiver one. And then and from
Mingo is going to be a rookie.
Yeah, I
Old
mean,
Miss.
Jonathan Mingo, he's okay, but he's still a rookie, like you said. So what the Panthers need to do is they just need to grind it out this year, and then from there they had to give up DJ Moore because they had to get their quarterback. So I'm not really mad at that, and he wasn't really happy in Carolina either. So, but from here, new coaching staff, they just got to rebuild their skill positions on offense because their defense is fine and they have a lot of talent on defense. They just got to give the defense a little bit of help and kind of spread out their offense and make it a little bit more balanced on each side of the ball. So, I mean, you can get a talented wide receiver in the second round. First round, the all-star receivers are going to go in the first round, but you can get quality receivers in the second round. And at least just getting one would help them out a lot. And if they can trade and get another one or get one in free agency too, just a vet who has
Yeah.
been consistent. I mean, who knows? Maybe Brandon Cooks will be on free agency once again, and they'll
No,
sign him.
he's on Dallas for he is on his team for 2 years, and you just broke it too. He's on his team for 2 years,
Okay.
this year and
So
next. The
okay,
other
so
free
then
agent acquisition, Gilmore, is done after this year, unless they re-sign him.
okay, yeah. So then Brandon Cooks will not be on free agency this offseason. So they just need to build. They just need to find some talent at wide receiver or tight end, and they'll be fine. But yeah. As for the Bears, they stink, and they're not improving.
I also one that I just thought of. What in the world are the Vikings going to do?
They're going to trade Captain Kirk to the Jets, and the Jets are going to save their season.
Isn't that what Chris Carter said to do?
It's what I think everyone is said to do.
Because if you you're gonna have to because in my opinion there is no reason to pay. There's no reason to send a yacht to Mr. Jefferson if you don't have a quarterback. He's not going to want to resign.
He will, because here's the thing. And I know you hate Mr. Colin Cowherd, but he made a great point, and I totally agree with him.
What is that?
If of course this is all relying on if the Vikings lose in epic fashion again this upcoming week and fall to 0-3. If the Minnesota Vikings were to trade Kirk Cousins and get compensation for them, they would ultimately be giving up on their season, and they would have a pretty high draft pick next year.
Yeah.
And
that is true.
you think about it, there are 4 rookie quarterbacks that can potentially be taken in the upcoming draft. You have Caleb Williams, who most likely will not be ready, will be there. Drake May most likely will be there. Bo Nix, I think, is not going to be good. Who? Yeah, McCarthy. Yeah, the Michigan QB, and then you have Shedeur Sanders.
No, he's not going. He's staying in Colorado.
He may or may not. At this point,
Deion already confirmed it. Deion said that his son will not be second fiddle. Anyone. He already said it. He said both of his boys are staying in Colorado.
Well, at this point, I mean, look, at the end of the day, his sons are gonna decide for themselves. Because if they can get paid $20 million and if Shedeur Sanders is sitting there, is like, okay, I'm gonna be picked by the Vikings, Dad, and I'm gonna be throwing to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. I don't think he's gonna be able to do anything to stop him from going to Minnesota.
Yeah.
So he's just the wild card. He's the wild card 5th guy that may or may not go. I'm just saying Minnesota, like they can go to Justin Jefferson. They can go to Justin Jefferson and be like, hey, look, we're not going to win this year, but don't worry, there's plenty of talent at quarterback in the draft that we can get you to keep you happy and all that great stuff.
Also, 2 comments. You have the USC quarterback as well, the OU transfer.
The who?
The OU transfer that went to USC. No, sorry, not USC.
South Carolina. Dylan Gabriel. Rattler.
Yeah, Rattler.
Yeah,
and Gabriel
be going. I don't really believe much in Rattler though, but I guess he is another QB in the draft.
My third break from reality, breaking from the sport in general, breaking news out of Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay Rays are calling up their top infield prospect, Junior Caminero. Sources tell ESPN, who was 20 years old, will make the leap from AA, who was hitting 309. I guess so. 309.
Is that the guy out of TCU?
Maybe. I have no idea.
Well, you said it was breaking news. What position does he play?
This is top infield prospect.
Oh, he's definitely shortstop. What's his name again?
Oh, he's a shortstop and third baseman.
Oh, Tampa Rays draft pick.
And then someone commented, I wonder why. Wander spelled Wander. That's hilarious.
You need to stop hating on my team, Owen. We're way better than the sorry Yankees.
I'm not hating on anybody but Wander Franco. I love what the Rays are doing. But
Yeah,
this
and they're building a brand new stadium, and I will be attending their brand new stadium when it opens, which means I'll have to
can't wait.
pay for a ticket to get out there, but it'll be fine because it's in Florida, and Florida is a beautiful, lovely state.
Yeah, Mr. Malfa you can go with Mr. Malfa. He goes to Florida every now and then. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Mr.
this
Malfa will join me to watch the best poverty franchise in the MLB, the Tampa Bay Rays.
in all of sports. But Dallas plays, I think, at
Oh,
325. I'm moving on, closing
you
the
have no,
show.
no. You gotta close the segment. You made
Hey,
two mistakes.
Ray made some escape from realities. I made some escape from realities, and now we're going to go back to the world as we know it, that is full of pain and suffering, and will end up in me being even more upset than I am. I had to take a water break from class because I was so upset and emotional because
Oh
of the
boy.
player getting injured. I was emotional and I had to go. I couldn't take it, but we're back. Ray, I was happy for a little bit, but now I'm immersed in pain and agony.
I'll
But
give you, by the way, to add to your pain and agony, I'll give you C- for Escape from Reality because you screwed up twice.
that's
But overall,
fine. I'm used to those grades.
but great topics. I like them.
Yeah, they were great, and we can talk about it on Tuesday or Wednesday when we record the Arizona game. Hopefully, it's a win. We can talk
It will
about
be a win. No,
Sanders because I'll be
hopefully it
watching.
will be a win.
I watched the end of the game last week in overtime, but I have not watched a Colorado game from start to finish, and I'll be doing that on Saturday in the Waco.
Very
But
good.
thank you all for listening. I hope that you're excited. There's just gonna be so much all about America's team content rolling out over the next few months. You're gonna have no idea what to do. So pack your bags, go on some road trips, and throw on All About America's Team. Brought to you by Delahanty Media. Delahanty Media. It's just there's
That is a great
nothing
idea.
better to do.
Yeah, except for drive, but you can do both.
Yeah, or just get a Tesla self drive and listen.
Another
That's all you
great
have to
idea.
do.
I wish
So
I had a Tesla.
they're nice. They are nice. But we'll be back early next week to talk about the game, and then the same time next week, next Thursday, next Friday night to talk about New England, which I'm looking forward to that game because last time Dallas played New England, Dallas won in overtime, which led to Dallas having Dak having a calf strain, which led to the demise of that year. But because I'm sure you know now, you were saying calf strain, calf strain, calf strain, but now look at Mr. Burr and his calf strain's eating him up. So keep that same energy, man. Keep it.
If you want to bring up an injury from 2 years ago and say how it's super, super bad and all that, fine, whatever. But at the end of the day, Dak Prescott's calf strain was not the reason why he threw two inexplicable interceptions against the 49ers that ended up costing them the season. So
Hey, that was last year, right?
one inexplicable interception in his own territory inside the 20-yard line.
Wasn't the Patriot game 2 years ago, or was it last year? It was 2 years ago. Because Dak broke his thumb last year.
2 years ago.
At least me think. Yeah, so 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Not last year, 2 years ago.
Because 2 straight years the Dallas Cowboys have ruined my birthday. Thank you, Dallas Cowboys. And 2 straight years, Dak Prescott has ruined my birthday. Thank you, Dak
Dak's going to give you a big gift this year.
Cheers to the trifecto. Just kidding. Don't do that, please.
Well, for once in my NFL fandom, I'm starting to broaden my horizons and watching other teams and watching things. And it's been nice. It's been nice to watch other teams play and be able to sit and watch stress-free football. It's my favorite. I'm looking forward to the bye week. It'll be a good week. It'll be a great week. But here's the hoping that Dallas does not have any more injuries as the Giants, as Deebo Samuel is just carrying the Giants defense on his back right now, literally dragging them.
You know, the Giants are not playing as bad as I expected them to be playing, but they're still not going to win. Which is unfortunate because I would like the Giants to be competitive because it makes the conference it makes the division better, even though the division is still bad. But yeah,
for sure. But
I'm ready for Sunday, and then I'm ready to get back on Monday or Tuesday, and we'll see
yeah,
everyone then.
I come back Tuesday, so we can do Tuesday after my classes.
Perfect.
We hope everybody has a great rest of the night. Go Cowboys. Here's to hoping that Mike McCarthy kind of, I don't know, just lower the intensity, please. Please. I don't, the amount of hamstring injuries that we've had, I just, please no. But
yeah, thanks everyone for watching. And check out other episodes on Spotify or Apple Music, and go Cowboys. And please, as Owen said, but I'm making it very clear, no more phantom injuries. I don't want to see or
they're
hear
not
any
phantom. They
injuries that
are
I
very
don't real.
real.
No, I'm talking about the other ones, not this one. This is the real
Oh,
one.
Zach
But no,
Martin actually rolled his
no
ankle.
phantom
He
injuries
actually
like
rolled
the
it.
Brandon Cooks injury or any of the other ones that I'm like, I don't remember seeing this on the field, or you didn't play enough to get hurt. So no
At the end of
more
the year, at the end of the
weird,
game,
mysterious injuries. Let's just keep everyone clean
maybe
and
you
happy
just
and
had too
healthy.
many cowboy Ritas, and you just didn't know for the end of the game. Maybe you just had
I
one
didn't
too
drink.
many
I did
of
not drink
Jerry's
any
special juice.
margaritas. No margaritas for me.
You had too much Jerry juice. That sounds. You had too much of Jerry's secret sauce.
If I had Jerry juice, I would have been in his box because that's the only place you can get Jerry juice. You should know
Oh,
this. It's
Jerry
way too
Jones.
expensive. Even though the menu is expensive, it's way too expensive for the people going to the concession stands, and that should be where we ended.
Yeah, so if you're going to AT&T, bring out a small loan, save money, cash out the retirement check. Just go cash out the 401k and go have a blast.
Advice from Owen may or may not be good, but let's leave it at that.
Well, if you have any more financial questions, please at us at America's Team, capital P, capital C, and I will give you all your financial questions, and I will be here for advice, and I will tell you what to do to make long-lasting positive market. Yeah, I think a finance class last semester.
Don't listen to this man. He's not very good at predicting outcomes. Come to me.
No,
I'm the undefeated
take the
one.
opposite of exactly what I said. I took a grad school class in finance, so I am a financial advisor. I know what to do. So please just at us, and I will give you all the help. But my name is Owen DeChico, and
I'm
I
Randy.
am
Let's get
Ray is a speaker of objectivity. And have a great rest of your night, Cowboys Nation. And please, for my sanity, be healthy, Cowboys. Diggs, safe, have a healthy and happy recovery. And yeah, go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Diggs, if you need an ACL, Owen will be happy to give you one.
Yep, I only have two, so someone's gonna have. So Ray and I will both give our 4 ACLs. The 4 player. Actually, no, we're gonna need 5 because overshown it for both. So anonymous donor, we're taking an ACL, we're taking a kneecap, and we're going. We're going to the star. Good night, Dallas.
And remove your turf, Jerry. I'm tired of it. See you, Cowboys Nation.
We're getting canceled. Good night.